instructions, and we are underway. Vale in their traditional black and white, and the visitors Liverpool's under-21s in their traditional all-red kit. As the ball goes long into the opposition half, and well chased down there by McCurdy. As we were just talking about, one of those names looking to impress potentially this evening, Adam Yates.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's somebody that hasn't, had much of an impact so far this season. He's been brought in as Carlisle's top scorer, and from our football club's point of view, we've got somebody who could make and create goals, but we've not seen that yet. If you look at where he's playing tonight, it looks like he might just be the one that breaks from midfield and off that right side and presses and can be involved higher up the pitch.
Early touch for the Liverpool goalkeeper as they bring it out from the back and play it long, and that's going to be comfortable there for Adam Crooks, one of the just 3 survivors from Saturday's humbling against Kings Lynn. So Vale need to move on from that, and this evening's EFL trophy offers that. So Dino Visser in goal, Adam Crooks, Nathan Smith, Emmanuel Oyolike, Cristiano Montano, Theo Robinson, Mark Cullen, Sean Brisley, Scott Burgess, Harry McCurdy and Alex Hurst is your Vale starting 11. On the bench we have Scott Brown, Luke Joyce, Leon Legg, David Worrell, Tom Conlon, Devante Rodney, and a new name, and hopefully one we'll hear a lot more of in the future, 16-year-old Eden Bailey, brought in from the academy. So Liverpool in possession and deep in their own half, with Vale continuing to press high, and that's well won there by McCurdy on the right, looking to slot it through, but that's intercepted by a red shirt. One thing to note, and certainly myself and Adam were joking about that, the lowest squad number, actually the lowest number on the back of a Liverpool player's shirt is 41. So that gives you an idea of obviously the huge squad that they have there at Anfield. As Vale now come forward through on the left through Montano. He's got options left and right. Goes for Theo Robinson over the far side, and the referee's flag is up. What have you made of the opening few minutes, Adam?
I just think, as probably expected, that we are pressing high up the pitch as we would in a league game, and I think a lot of these under-21 players will be used to teams sitting off them and letting them play in their own half. Twice already we've won the ball up in our final third, their defensive third, with some play that they probably weren't expecting in terms of pressing. So for us, as it would be a league game, I think our players will maybe sit off just a little bit until the middle third of the pitch, but really press, and I'm not sure that the Liverpool lads will have played against that week in, week out like our lads do.
Liverpool playing the ball long and over the top, which Crooks is able to deal with and find Montano, obviously injured against Cheltenham, but back and fit to start, which is great news for John Askey. Obviously the fixtures coming thick and fast as it's Liverpool now on the attack on this right-hand flank, just about 20 yards in front of the press box, myself and Adam, but Vale win the ball back. Crooks goes high and long, just looking for Theo Robinson, who does well there. The centre forward comes, chests it down and wins a throw in for his side on the halfway line.
Yeah, a very good play from Theo. Used his body well, experienced play, backed into the centre half. Knew he couldn't win the header, but moved the centre half out the way and took it on his chest and drew a throw in for us on the halfway line.
3 minutes gone, still goalless here at Vale Park, as it comes out wide to Nathan Smith, who's adopting a right-back role this evening here in Burslem. As a Vale throw over that far side, and obviously something that was new and introduced at the weekend for the FA Cup in the railway stand. We do have a select few cardboard cutouts of fans over in that railway stand, which unfortunately, as we know, is vacant from fans. But the club doing their little bit to try and keep people involved, and every little bit of help it can in terms of making people who are, of course, lockdown too, feeling very detached. But like I say, a number of those cardboard cutouts. If you head to the BBC Radio Stoke Twitter, you can find a picture if you are one of those. But it's now Liverpool in possession in their own half. They're playing it long and over the top as they look to split the two Vale defenders. That's a good head by the Vale defence, which picked up. Shot comes in from range, but it's a good block there from Brisley. And Vale win a free kick, Adam.
Yeah, decent defensive play from Nathan Smith. He's round on the cover from Sean Brisley, who's just managed to win his header. But not bad play from Liverpool. They've looked to turn us early, and that centre forward really looks like he wants to play in between our full-backs and centre halves.
Robinson
just have to be aware, Nathan, of him tucking himself round.
Robinson just looking to lay off to Hurst, but it's the offside flag once again. So myself, Tom Gale, alongside former Fort Vale defender Adam Yates. approaching 5 minutes gone. Port Vale 0, Liverpool under 21s 0. Elsewhere, of course, we heard full commentary of the first half from Crewe Alexandra. Certainly, if we can have half the action they had there. 2-2 at half-time. Crewe coming from 2 down. And they're similar to the Vale, playing to look to secure qualification. Certainly winner takes all in that one as regards to who tops their group, whereas we don't want to get too complicated with how it all pans out for Vale this evening. Quite simply, avoid defeat, and they top the group, and they are through. And that, of course, will secure them a home tie in the knockout stages. Not sure how much in lockdown football a home tie means, but certainly I think Vale, you'd think, Adam, players want to play in their own place as regards to the next round of this competition?
Yeah, comfortable environment for a number of these lads. You know, there isn't some of these, the Port Vale players haven't got a huge amount of league games under the belt, if any, for some of them. So, yeah, comfortable being in their home environment, understanding the pitch that they've all played on before.
Liverpool in possession. Very little goal action to report, guys. That's why we'll let you know as soon as it starts to get a bit more threatening as Liverpool play a ball over, and that's going to be initial goal kick. Just your thoughts in regards to Saturday, Adam. Obviously, you know, disappointing. Vale would have wanted to progress. Is this an opportunity to put that behind them, or is this just a complete separate entity as regards to the EFL trophy?
I just think the team, you know, because there's been so many changes, it is a different entity. It's probably to give some of those players that played at the weekend a bit of a breather and an escape from that result, and hopefully, you know, they can put it behind them and move on to Saturday. But you know, what it does do is it gives the opportunity for those that are playing tonight, that are in with a chance of playing, you know, that opportunity to say to John Askey, look, you know, I'm ready, I want to play, I deserve to play. Performance wasn't fantastic Saturday, you know, and pick me.
Dino Visser with the goal kick, looking for Monsano on this near touch line, and Vale win the throw as they progress into the Liverpool half. Still goalless here on BBC Radio Stoke. Full commentary, and of course there will be a praise and grumble from 9 p.m. or as soon as there is a potential for this game to go to penalties. That's only if there is a draw. All of games in the EFL Trophy do contest penalties. Obviously, that was how Vale picked up their first, 2 points in the opening game against Tranmere. The fact the game ended goalless, but Vale winning 4-3 on penalties. And now there's his chance for McCurdy to stretch his legs over that far right. He beats 2 Liverpool defenders. He's moving at some pace. He's attacking the byline, stands up across to the back post. There's 3 black and white shirts. The knockdown to Robinson. Back to goal, flicks it over. Good build up there from Port Vale, Adam Yates.
Yeah, very good play from Harry. Gone past 1 on the halfway line and then a second. You know, naive defending from the 2 defensive players from Liverpool, and picks out a decent cross, and it's a half chance for Theo. But I think for us it shows that we can press all over the pitch to some of these players that probably don't expect it.
Just couldn't come down quite quick enough for Theo Robinson. Just had to hook it essentially over his shoulder, and it went high into that empty Hamel Road stand as Liverpool playing out from the back. And I thought they'd played themselves into trouble, but unfortunately it does a Liverpool throw in, a little bit of light relief for them. A few celebrities, I think it's fair to stay in the Liverpool contingency. We've already seen Steve McManaman in the stands. Of course, obviously, Steven Gerrard was the former coach of the under-18s before moving on to his position at Rangers. The man who's in charge of this Liverpool under-21s is Barry Lutus, and then Gary O'Neill is his assistant, a guy who played over 200 appearances in the Premier League, the likes of Pompey, Borough, West Ham, Norwich, cutting their coaching teeth and we just need to head to Crewe Alexander and Graham McGarry. That's Liverpool here on one-on-one. Places shots blocks. Chance for Montano to clear. Vale knocking about in their own half, and then played it down to Theo Robinson. Back to goal, and he does well there to win the throw.
I think it just looks like we've got to be careful that, you know, a couple of Liverpool players are just dropping into the hole between the back 4 and the midfield 3, and seem to have 2 or 3 times already picked up good spaces and good opportunities to turn and get at our back 4. I think it's something that probably communication more than anything for the lads, more than, you know, players switching off. It's just talking those players through and making those midfield players aware in front of the back 4 of players drifting in behind them and off the blind spot.
So it's a Liverpool throw in their own half, going to be taken by Jake Kane. I think the average age around this Liverpool starting 11 is about 19, so very little, obviously, proper football experience, if that's the way we want to call it. But Liam Miller, he's certainly one of the stars of their side. The Canadian, 21 years of age, 2 goals in the Premier League too. Obviously, it's a very difficult to gauge form of this Liverpool under-21 side, playing in the Premier League too. If for what it's worth, they've won 4 of their last 5, but in this EFL Trophy competition, they've lost both of their games against Wigan and Tranmere, so they're certainly not going to progress as they look to switch flanks and attack the Vale defence. That's a good run here, which Montano needs to cover. The Colombian does well to get in between the man, but Liverpool have intercepted here. They're into the 18-yard box. It's cut back and he's lashed in. There's the opening goal. Vale made to pay. Liam Miller it is who makes it. Port Vale 0, Liverpool under-21s 1.
It's a poor bit of defending from Monty and Alex Hurst. I think there's not a great deal of communication. It's just a diagonal, hopeful ball for me from the centre half. Neither have dealt with it early. They've let it bounce. Monty's got caught on it and pulled it back to Liam Miller, who has been Liverpool's best player so far.
Poor defending, but one hell of a strike.
Yeah, it's a great finish, and he's given Dino no chance. But that's come from a nothing ball, just a diagonal ball that's hitting behind. There's one of their Liverpool players against both of ours, and he's ended up wriggling out and pulling the ball back, and it's 1-0.
So 11 minutes gone. Port Vale 0, Liverpool under-21s 1. And Bale chance here for an immediate reply then, and the goalkeeper can't pick that up a back pass. He does extremely well there, the Czech goalkeeper, to clear his lines. Viteslav Jaros, neat footwork after his centre-back absolutely leathered a back pass to him, but Vale coming forward now over the halfway line with Montana. He's got Robinson in front of him, checks inside. That's a neat little play. McCurdy makes the run now. Edge, left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Looks to stand up across, does he? No. He takes on his man and then crosses. There's an equaliser straight away. Is it Conlon? Sorry, excuse me, it's Mark Cullen, it is. Diving header. Instant reply from Port Vale, Adam Yates.
Absolutely, and I think, remarkably, what it's done is all of a sudden it's given our players a little bit more urgency in the play. Straight from kick-off from the goal we conceded, we're straight at them. From that position, we've pushed and been very, very direct. Harry McGurdy picks that ball up on the opposite side of the pitch from where he's playing on this left-hand side, drills the ball across, and Mark Cullen's unmarked in the box and dives across and nods it in.
So 2 goals in quick succession. I best imagine barely in the space of 2 minutes. Vale are back level. It's Port Vale 1, Liverpool under-21s 1. Mark Cullen with his 3rd of the season. I think that credits to McCurdy there, because obviously I was saying, is he going to stand it up? He waited to spot a free black and white shirt, didn't he, Adam?
He did, but I think one of the things Harry McCurdy will know and have experience is playing in these types of games against under-21s, under-23s. Came through at Aston Villa, played a lot of games there at this sort of level and tempo. But he looks the one player so far for Port Vale that's really been at it and got the bit between his teeth.
Liverpool are in here, edge of the left-hand side of Vale's 18-yard box, but that's a good clearing header at the expense of a corner by Sean Brisley.
Yeah, good position picked up by Briz there, just put himself in the area and expected that ball to be, and got his head on it and out for a corner.
So that opening goal came out of nothing, but it's really brought the game to life, it's fair to say.
It has, and to be honest, it'll make the Port Vale players aware that Liverpool, although they're a young side and are not physically quite as powerful as we are, they can hurt us.
Leighton Clarkson it is, who's going to trot over to the railway stand to take this corner, right-footed, in swinging. The side went ahead, courtesy of Liam Miller, but Mark Cullen it is who've drawn the Vale level. Cross is swung in, Vale heads it clear. Robinson picks up, edge of his own 18-yard box, looking up for McCurdy. McCurdy one-on-one. He's got a lot of distance to travel here, but he's more than willing to take on the Liverpool defender. He's beat him once, he's beaten twice. It's on his left foot, and it's a good save there from the Liverpool goalkeeper.
He's looked really, really sharp, Harry McCurdy. The ball's got to him fortuitously then, but his first reaction and his first impact is to drive at those defenders and make something happen. He gets a good shot away.
Certainly end-to-end stuff here at Vale Park. We barely covered 15 minutes and it's 1-1. This is BBC Radio Stoke, myself, Tom Gale, alongside former Vale defender Adam Yates. Elsewhere, Crewe Shrewsbury into the second half over on DAB, 2-2. We'll look to update you if any goals go in. as the Alex looking to confirm their place. That's a lovely ball in over the top. He's one-on-one, and this immediately comes out edge of his 18-yard box. That's to flick it in front of him so he doesn't handle outside of the area. And Luque gets his first real touch of the ball there. I'm very surprised that in those opening 15 minutes we've not been able to say his name. It's very congested in that centre of the field. And it's going to be a Liverpool free kick, which they take short and quickly. Very keen to get on with things, these youngsters, knocking it in and around. Their left back happy to retreat yardage. Jake Kane. It's the Dutch Sepp van den Berg, 18-year-old. Nice spin there from the Liverpool centre midfield, and he gets the free kick on the halfway line. Liverpool certainly very keen to get on with this. They're second in the Premier League 2 table. Been impressive form in that division, but a reminder they haven't managed to pick up a single point in this competition. It's just their second campaign. Last year was the first time they entered the EFL trophy as Smith heads it clear for Vale. Flicked over to McCurdy, who's been arguably the star man for John Askey's side in this opening 15 minutes as his side are drawing 1-1. But Liverpool again come forward and they're switching it over to that far side. A lot of joy there potentially down the left for Liverpool, they feel. And they're happy to just knock it around. It goes back to Billy Kimamutio, a French 17-year-old defender. I say, look at the size of him. He doesn't look 17 from me from this press box, but
I think he's bigger than me and you put together.
It certainly is. 1-1 here. What's your thoughts on under-23 football, Adam? Is you know, how much can we gauge from these youngsters that we're seeing in front of us?
I think for me, what I've seen is that a lot of those players that come down to our level, League 1 and League 2, and can cope physically with the game, they're the ones that you see going on and having a real impact at the higher end. I think the ones that come down and don't cope physically and don't really make the impact sort of fade away and don't really make a career at the top level. And the lower they go, the harder it becomes for them.
Looking for that ball over the top again.
Yeah, just go back to that. I think over the years, I think we're looking back, we played against Notts County one year, and Jack Grealish was on loan there, and even at 17, you know, real ability, but physically could cope and didn't mind getting kicked and would get up and carry on, and he'd give you one back. And I think that is the telltale sign for me, that if those players can handle it physically, they go in, and they've obviously got the ability. Those are the players that you look at and think, you know what, he can go and really have a good career at the top end.
That's the voice of Adam Yates alongside myself, Tom Gale, on BBC Radio Stoke, as we're bringing you full commentary of the EFL Trophy group stages. This is Northern Group D, match 3, so the final match of the group stages, with Vale sitting top of the table. They drew the opening game against Tranmere at 0-0, won on penalties, and then 3-1 winners at Wigan. And avoiding defeat is the simple task for John Askey's man to ensure they progress to the knockout stages. And of course, it can't be said in these difficult times that we're all facing, certainly any extra revenue that the club can bring in won't be shirked at. Obviously, no more FA Cup funds, but certainly Vale going well in the EFL Trophy. Here's the goal scorer for Vale as he lays it off there, Cullen, nicely. Back to Smith, and Vale will build now through the back. It's in the left centre-half position of Adam Crooks, who brings it forward. He's stood up by a Liverpool attacker and comes back to Brisley, who plays it out wide instantly. Neat, quick pass to Smith on the far right-hand side, looking down the right-hand flank for Cullen. Cullen's got space in front of him, heading to the 18-bar, pulls it back to McCurdy on his left peg, on his right peg, and he doubles Vale's score tally for the evening to make it Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 1.
Really good football again. I think what we can see already is if we pick the tempo up in the final third, that it just seems that those Liverpool young lads just don't cope, and we break down the right side. It's a fantastic breakaway, pulled the ball back to, I think it's Alex Hurst. It's drilled it in at him at sort of chest height. He manages to get a great touch on it and give the keeper no chance.
Brilliant finish there. Excellent stuff, what we've seen from Vale in terms of a response, Adam Yates, which will please John Askey.
It will please John, and what he'll have done is that early goal, although we looked like we were dominating the game very early on, it would have been a bit of a shock to the players that they were 1-0 behind, and just a reminder, these Liverpool young lads can go and hurt you. They've got quality, but from there you have to say it's been a wonderful reaction, and you know, quite deservedly we're 2-1 up now.
So 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes to make it Liverpool. So Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 1. Elsewhere, still Crewe 2, Shrewsbury 2. They're into the second half. And we're already, they scored 4 goals themselves between them. So it was 2-2 at half-time in that game. And we're obviously very close to replicating that, which I guess this competition does have the prospect for high-scoring games. Like you said, many of the points you were alluding to about, you know, established pros coming up against developing players, Adam.
It is, and you know, I was trying to chat to Phil before about Phil Sheeran about some of the results, and they seem to have conceded quite a number of goals. You know, that experience isn't there, that understanding of how to defend without, you know, sort of putting yourselves under pressure isn't there quite yet for these young lads at Liverpool, and already we can see that the reason why they have conceded 4, 5 and 6 in a number of group games over the last year or so.
Liverpool again playing it out from the back, and Vale not letting them have any time on the ball as it ricochets off, and Montano just fails to keep it in, but it's going to be a Liverpool throw deep in their own half, where the score is Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 1. Back to Van der Berg, the Dutch centre-half, has plenty of time to look for that ball over the top, but that's a good header there by Brisley, but Liverpool pick up the rebounds, but Vale win it back. Crooks comes back to his goalkeeper, Visser, South African, who's not had a league start this season, but has been a regular in this competition, as well as Vale's short run in the EFL Cup, as it's hacked clear, high and long into that empty railway stand. So let's see what these Liverpool youngsters are made of. They did lead early on. Sensational strike from Liam Miller, which did come as a result of a Port Vale defensive error. Their one and only shot on target, and what a shot it was from the Canadian 21-year-old. But John Askey's men replying within the space of 2 minutes, and now have a lead as they again come forward on this far side through Alex Hurst. He's one-on-one with the defender, but the defender does well, and Hurst just shoved him in the back, which the referee agrees.
A little bit unlucky from Alex Hurst. It's a great ball from Crooksy. He's got it out his feet and hit Alex early, who's running behind. The ball's just sort of checked wrong side of both Alex and the full-back, and unfortunately Alex has just clipped him. But you know, I do think it's made a big difference though the Liverpool players scoring early against us, because what it's done is it's made all of our players step up the games. You know, they're coming off the back of a loss at the weekend in the FA Cup, and this game is an opportunity to go and show the manager what they can do, and to be 1-0 down so early has probably not been a bad thing for the lads that are playing.
Tom, Mark Cullen and Alex Hurst with the goals, and Cullen's in here again, one-on-one, digs it over the goalkeeper. It's a good save there, one-on-one. The goalkeeper made himself big, and a brilliant save from him, Adam Yates.
Yeah, you'd expect Mark Cullen to put that away. He's a wonderful finisher, Mark. Keeper's made a decent save, but it just seems that every time we're breaking forward now, we're creating opportunities.
And I think it just shows, you know, as you say, you know, in terms of what this will do for Mark Cullen. Certainly Harry McCurdy's been an extremely bright start. Alex Hurst getting his first ever goal for the club as well. He can't write this competition off in terms of experience it can offer, but it's going to be a Vale corner on the far side, floated into the back post, and the goalkeeper comfortably gathers. Opts to pause and reset. He did look for see if the quick long ball was on, but he rolls it out to his left back, which is Billy Kumitio, and Liverpool come forwards. Cullen standing in front of them as they retreat backwards. Certainly, as Adams alluded to, technically, clearly very good on the ball, but certainly when Vale again in and amongst them, you'd understand, obviously older, bigger and more experienced bodies, that there is the opportunity for Vale to bully this under-21 side, but they did have to come from behind, and they kick it out for a Vale throw just on the halfway line. Patient, good shape there from Port Vale.
Yeah, good shape, good communication. I think that's the one aspect you can hear when there's no fans in the stadium. You can hear the players that communicate, and although there are quite a lot of players that are not vocal enough for me on here, you do hear those voices. So you know, you do hear Sean Brisley, you do hear Manuel Eke, you do hear Mark Cullen, and to be honest, Theo Robinson as well, you know, trying to talk lads through the game and communicate, which is a big factor in sometimes making the game a lot easier for any player. Liverpool
on the halfway line, heading into the Vale half, comes out to the left. There's certainly plenty of space over there for Kane. He sends in a good cross, but Visser's good positioning there from the South African, comfortably gathers in two hands with his top bun. orange shirt, and he opts to roll it to feet. As we can hear, lots of players shouting for the ball, and he goes long looking for Robinson, who's got defender climbing all over the back of him, but referee disagrees as regards to any form of an infringement, and Visser's quickly off his line, but he gives it straight to a Liverpool shirt, but Vale recover. Oyelike plays a lovely ball out wide to Hurst. Hurst, who is the man who's put Vale in front, takes on the defender, but settles for a throw-in.
I think one of the things you can see with Liverpool is the rotation. You know, the midfielders and front lads, they rotate very, very well. It's very difficult to mark, and I think communication, rather than tracking a man into midfield from a full-back area, it is talking players onto each other rather than being pulled out of position, because that's what they want. They want you to come out of position and create big gaps for other players to run into.
John Askey on the edge of his technical area, just overlooking Christian Montano as he takes the throw, looking down the line, but comes in field to Oyelike, who plays it back to Brisley. Brisley, yeah. And just an update you from Crewe Alexandra. They have come from behind. Crewe now leading 3-2 in the second half. Daniel Powell with his second goal of the evening has put the home side in front. It's exactly the same competition, but they kicked off at just after 6 o'clock this evening. Obviously a 7 p.m. kickoff if you are just joining us here on BBC Radio Stoke. 26 minutes gone at Vale Park. It is Port Vale 2, Liverpool under 21s 1, and Vale again coming forward here, and is again in behind that Liverpool defence, and he's lashed off the bar there from Mark Cullen. So close to getting his second of the evening, but Vale still looking to press here, coming forward through Burgess. He sends across to the back post, and there's no one there, but Liverpool will be forced to keep it in play through the pressure of Hurst. They go long and down the line, and that's actually a good looking ball over the top there. Montano's got plenty of work to do. He has Kane, the Canadian, for Liverpool. He's already got one this evening. Looks to stand him up and take him on, but the Colombian defender does well for Port Vale, but it actually looks as though the Liverpool man's won a free kick there. I
think he looks their most dangerous player, Miller, but if you go back to the chance for Mark Cullen, that's twice that Manny's broken through the central area of midfield, drove at the back four of Liverpool, and Mark's just got himself in between the centre half, little diagonal running behind, and then a second one-on-one chance for him, and you know, he struck it very, very well on his weak side. It's rattled the bar and come out.
It's the voice of Adam Yates, former Port Vale defender, alongside myself, Tom Gale, here on BBC Radio Stoke. We'll bring you reaction from Crewe Shrewsbury and this game here after 9 p.m. with Lee Blakeman on Praise and Grumble, where at the moment, as it stands, we'll be rejoicing the fact that Port Vale have comfortably made it through to the knockout stages, but plenty of football left as Liverpool swing in the set piece, and it's headed clear by Vale, but just only reaches the edge of the 18-yard box. Cullen's the closest defender, but Liverpool knock it past him, edge of the box. Is there a potential shooting opportunity? But Smith stands his ground well and clears for Port Vale. It's back now in the Liverpool half. Remy Savage, big afro, left side of that Liverpool defence, as they again look for that ball over the top, and once again it is Millett who's drifted off to the right, and he's stood up by two Vale shirts. He goes on to take on Montano, and he's not beating this time. The Colombian does well, but he's still pressing the Liverpool man as the Port Vale defender does well to clear his lines, looking down the line for Robinson, but he can't get in front, but Port Vale do with the throw, Adam Yates.
Yeah, to me, Miller looks the most physically developed from the Liverpool players, other than the centre-half as well. It looks like he's got that bit of pace and a bit of strength about him. He looked like he'd gone past Monty early on, sort of 30-40 seconds ago, with a bit of ease, but thankfully, you know, Monty's defended well against him that time, second one-on-one, and he does look like they'll keep changing flanks, because he started on the left, he's drifted back over to the right, he's been in the central areas just behind the front two, and I think for us the rotation is important. It is important that we can continue to communicate that.
He is one of the few that in this Liverpool side has gone elsewhere on loan to gain senior experience. He is 21 as well, the Canadian, which again will have an impact on his ability to come up against, you know, players of this level. He's played in both of their defeats in this competition this season. It's going to be a Liverpool free kick, 35 yards out, pretty much centre, but maybe more left of centre for Dino Visser, the South African, brought into the Liverpool goal this evening. Conceded early on. It was the visitors who went in front, but a brilliant response from John Askey's side. Two Liverpool players stood over this. Leighton Clarkson is one of them, and it's played into the back post, but that's headed clear by the Vale. Theo Robinson will chance to knock it on, and he finds Cullen. Chance for a Vale here to counter-attack. Hurst on the left-hand flank. He's over the halfway line. He's got space in front of him, but quickly 3 red shirts surround him. He wants it on his right foot, but crosses with his left and wins a corner.
Yeah, direct play from Alex, broke away. It does look quite like he's got a bit of pace, Alex Hurst, and 3 defenders have come and blocked that cross for him. And if he could have just, sort of whipped that around, it was 2v1 in the box. So
it's going to be a Port Vale corner on the near sides. Vale attacking the Hamel Road stands, and it's lovely little play here as he looks to float in, and a tame effort there actually eventually there from Harry McCurdy as Liverpool quickly now look to get up the other end of the field. Fiedel O'Rourke. So Liverpool are offside here. Yeah, they were in one-on-one, but Vale holding a very good line. So we're approaching the half-hour mark here in Burslem. It is Port Vale 2. Liverpool under-21s 1 elsewhere in this competition, but in the second half, it was a 6 p.m. kickoff. Crewe have come from behind. They lead 3-2 against Shrewsbury. Both of the local sides on course to top their group and make it through to the knockout stages of this competition as Crooks plays a wild pass across goal and gets away with it as Liverpool gift it back to Brisley, and Brisley now gives it to a red shirt. So here's the danger man for them. Miller, he's going to run at this Vale defence. He's paced to burn that striker, and he wins a corner for his side. The warning signs are there, Adam.
They are just a bit of a lax play from our first Crooksy and then Briz, trying to play balls across the face of the back four. And it is another warning that Liverpool can be dangerous if we give them the opportunity.
So it's Leighton Clarkson who's going to be taking this corner for Liverpool under-21s. 19 years of age. Scored in this competition already this season. In swinging corner. It's a decent delivery, and it's met by Van der Berg, but he heads over the Dutch centre-half.
Free header, it's a free header probably 6-7 yards out, and I would have expected that he'd have done better there. I think he'd be disappointed in himself.
I think what we can expect from these under-21s is maybe you mentioned about physicality, but fitness-wise and sort of enthusiasm, they want to prove something out there. Not that Vale don't have anything to prove, but this is one of the cases when you're coming up against under-21 sides.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for them, the next step for them will be the 23s or into the first team fray. Obviously not necessarily starting the games, but into that first team squad and the travelling and even training. And these lads will think that they've got a chance to do it. I think if you look at Miller, he's the one for me already that you can see would be ready to go and play in the Football League, probably League 1 or League 2. And quite
Vale in here, it's 1-on-1 potentially. The defender's looking to get back, and it's a good save once again from Yaros, denying Mark Cullen.
Well, he should have a hat-trick. 3 almost identical opportunities for Mark Cullen on his weak side, granted. But 3 opportunities for him to, and I would definitely think he was disappointed not to have at least have taken one of those. Contrasting
approach, whereas Liverpool are happy to go ball over the top, whereas Vale are always looking for that through ball decisive pass, which Cullen has been on the receiving end, as Adams rightfully pointed out on a couple of those. He's obviously got on the score sheet. That was to bring Vale level, and he's rattled the bar, and he had 2 good saves here from the Czech visiting goalkeeper, but lots of space over the far side for Liam Miller. Edge of the left hand side of the penalty box, cuts in on his right foot, shoots from distance, and somehow, I'm not sure if he's taken a deflection, but no doubt it's ended up in the back of the net. He's second of the evening, and I think he's got a few verbals there maybe to say one of the Port Vale defenders, but no doubting about the scoreline. It's Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 2.
It seems that this is every time we attack, we come up with a chance, and we know that they've got the ability and almost that final pass to make a chance on their end, but the ball switched over to him. He's allowed to come in on his stronger right foot. You can see the intent as soon as he gets that ball outside the area. He's driving it at our defenders, and he comes inside too easily for me and gets a shot off. Now it does look like it got a deflection and wrong-footed Dino, but the score is 2-2.
I was going to give him pelters because he's the only player who's wearing gloves, but what we've seen from him this evening, he's certainly one to watch from the visiting side. So Liam Miller with his second of the evening to bring Liverpool under-21s level, and we've not even played 35 minutes here at Vale Park. It's Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 2. Chance over on this far side for Hurst to take on the defender. Does well, creates a bit of space, but he's well tracked. He gets to the byline. Actually, this is brilliant play. Plays a good ball across, and again, Cullen, I'm not sure if he got a touch on it. He looks flabbergasted that he didn't tap it in from 3 yards, but Vale coming forward now over the far right-hand side through McCurdy, cuts inside. Burgess plays the ball out to Smith. Smith at the byline. Can he get across? He's looking to turn back inside. Does well, the Vale right back, helped out by Burgess. They work it well there. Can they get the cross into the back post? Robinson's unmarked, but the Liverpool defender does well to get ahead on it, but Robinson will reclaim and plays an instant ball back into the 18-yard box to Hurst. Stood up by Van der Beek. Digs a little cross across, and it's floated in the air, but Cullen can't quite get onto it. And Liverpool here, again, a chance to counter-attack, but relentless pressing there from Port Vale, Adam.
It is, and I think if we look at the chances created in this game already, it's probably more than we've seen in the last 3 Port Vale games.
So Vale certainly have a game on their hands here against Liverpool's under-21s. No first-team experience from a Liverpool perspective in the starting 11 for the visitors. And of course, John Askey making 8 changes from the side that were knocked out of the FA Cup by Kings Lynn at the weekend. Adam Crooks, Nathan Smith and Scott Burgess, the only 3 remaining as Montano cuts in. Edge of the box, plays in Cullen again, one-on-one. It's another good save. The referee's flag, and it's a brilliant double save actually from Viteslav Jaros, the Czech Republic visiting goalkeeper, but the referee's flag's up. And again, it's always on, isn't it, Adam? It's just maybe Cullen, just that timing of the run. It's
absolutely his timing of his run, and if you watch him, he's not being marked at all. He's free to time his run as he wants. You know, there's no contact on him. He's not got anyone within 2 or 3 yards of him. So if Mark can almost keep himself a yard onside and time it a little bit better, I can see him getting in another 2 or 3 chances at least in this game.
I don't think I'm pushing the boat out, but I think there's definitely goals still left in this game. At the moment we've had 4. It's Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 2. Elsewhere, Crewe 3, Shrewsbury 2. Crewe coming from behind. And we will bring you reaction from both games after 9 PM. We have Praise and Grumble with Lee Blakeman back in the studio. And it was a brilliant response from Port Vale, but also we need to credit Liverpool under-21s for their resilience to stay in the game. I think Vale will arguably feel they are accountable for both of his strikes, and actually Vale have given needlessly a corner away there. Adam Crooks under no pressure, edge of his own 18-yard box, miscommunication with Brisley and kicks it out aimlessly for a Liverpool corner, Adam Yates.
It's probably just a bit of a lack of concentration for me. I think it's that they maybe think that the game's there for them to go and dominate completely. Maybe a little bit of rustiness from some lads. I know Crooksy played on Saturday, but he hasn't played an awful lot of football, and neither has Brisley, so I think it's more than anything just a lapse in concentration.
So another Liverpool corner. 2-2 the score here at Vale Park. This is the EFL Papa John's Trophy. Corner swung in, doesn't beat the first man, so Vale clear. But they can't find a black and white shirt as Savage plays it back out wide for Liverpool, and they again look to hook it in, but Smith with a right boot gets it clear. But again, Liverpool will drive forward here through, which actually McCurdy looks as though he's appealing for a throw, but the referee does not agree. It's going to be a Liverpool throw inside the Vale half, which Connor Bradley, just 17 years of age, will take. Gets it back, flicks it over the top as a Vale head gets on it. Burgess finds his goalkeeper. Good clearance there from Visser, first time, but head straight into the arms of John Askey, who, what do you think he'll have made of this opening, 30 as we approach 40 minutes, Adam Yates?
From attacking perspective, he'll be pleased. He'll be pleased of what he's seen from particularly Harry McCurdy, the chances Mark Cullen's created. I wouldn't say Theo's really had a chance as of yet. And maybe the fact that Manny's come this far unscathed, so early on. But from a defensive point of view, it seems that we're getting opened up time and time again. And
Liverpool coming forward through here again and looks to slot it through, and again miscommunication at the back there. The keeper looked to have it covered, but Brooks took it out of his hands. They'll get away with it this time though, and they come forward on the left hand side through Hurst. He's got Montano overlapping, and he opts to go back, and Liverpool have clearly been buoyed that they feel as though Vale are rattled at the back, Adam Yates.
Yeah, from their angle, it looked like, I think their manager will be saying to them, every time we go forward and we up the tempo and almost switch the play and rotate up front, that we create opportunities. For us, it is the communication's the biggest aspect to that. Can we talk players on? Can we make players aware of those Liverpool lads in and around in the blind spots? But more than anything, we can be 4 or 5 goals up in this game, and we haven't taken those opportunities.
Definitely Liverpool under-21s growing in confidence. Initially it was a lot of one-touch, intricate passing, but each of their players now feeling a bit more comfortable on the ball, and it's their danger man again, Miller, who this time sniffed out by Brisley on the edge of the box, but he's clearly learned, hasn't he? You can't give the Canadian any space whatsoever.
Absolutely not. You know, he gets his turn on, and his first thought is, can I get at somebody and get a shot or a cross off? And already he's the one player that's dictated all of Liverpool's good play.
Savage for Liverpool over the far side in the Vale half, finds Kumitio as Liverpool go back into their own half and build through Van der Berg. Tall Dutch ginger-haired centre half. As Vale look to press, and I thought Liverpool got in behind there, but McCurdy with a good recovering head in. Savage keeps it in for Liverpool over the far side and wins a throw. 40 minutes gone here. 2-2 is a scoreline. Liverpool in possession, going back into their own half. Yet to pick up a point in the competition thus far this season. Liverpool under-21s, 2 defeats in their 2 games, which were both played in September, which is obviously feels like a lifetime ago, and they've played a lot of Premier League 2 football in the meantime, but certainly nowhere near the level that Port Vale have been doing week in, week out, as Oyoluke looking to weave a bit of magic, dances around 3 defenders, looks as though win the foul, but the referee waves play on. Burgess switches flanks to Hurst, who's got a lot of space here, controls it on his knee, onto his right foot, just rolling the ball over as 2 defenders approaching, floats up a good ball to the back post, which the goalkeeper comfortably claims.
Just a little bit more pace needed on that from Alex. He needed to really put his foot through it rather than hang it up. Nathan
Smith beautifully reading the goalkeeper's quick pump forward and regains possession for Port Vale. Robinson, 30 yards from goal, plays it out wide to Burgess. He's got McCurdy running down that right-hand flank. He's followed by a red shirt close to the corner flag, but he's tricky. He's dancing around and finds space back to Burgess. Smith has continued his run into the box. He cuts it back, but can only find a red shirt, and it's hacked clear. Brisley against the danger man Liam Miller for Liverpool, who's got both of their goals, and it was Mark Cullen and Alex Hurst with the goals for Port Vale. In terms of the scoring, it was the visitors who went in front, and then Vale equalised and then went ahead, and they have been pegged back. And it's 3-3 at Crewe Alexandra, so we are sharing the goals across BBC Radio Stoke and on DAB. Graham McGarry calling that first off, which ended 2-2, and that's what we're replicating here in Burslem. And Crewe went in front, but they've now been pegged back. Second half, and again we will bring you reaction in the praise and grumble after this one is finished, which of course if a side wins in normal time that's fine, but if there is a draw we will take spot kicks, which perhaps would feel unnecessary given this is the final group game, but I guess the rules have to remain consistent throughout, that in the EFL Trophy if games do end in a draw they play for an extra point courtesy of penalties. As Vale clear the lines high and long, looking over the top for Robinson, who's tracked by 2 Liverpool defenders, and they comfortably see off the Jamaican, and their keeper hacks it clear. It's headed straight back from Port Vale, but into the feet of a Liverpool shirt. Savage for them over the far side, closely tracked by Burgess, who nicks in to intercept, but at the expense of a throw-in over that far railway stand, which is decorated, as we mentioned, with cardboard cutouts of Port Vale supporters and famous names. So Robin van der Laan, John Rudge decorated in and amongst them, as well as a smattering of Port Vale flags. Lots of St George's over that far side, and it's Liverpool now looking to switch flanks through O'Rourke. He's on the right-hand edge of the 18-yard box. He's followed by Montano. There's support here from Clarkson, and they come all the way back to Bradley. Bradley's cross in, but that's headed by Brisley. Not much distance on it, so Hurst has to help it on to the halfway line, and Robinson looking to use his physicality against those Liverpool defenders. And Liverpool now a lapse of concentration. 2-on-1 here for Port Vale. Hurst edging into the box. He looks to shoot, left-footed over. He didn't really fancy that, did he, Adam Yates? He was sort of looking to lay in Robinson, opted for the left-footed shot, and he goes high and over.
Yeah, it's naive play from the centre half at Liverpool. He's tried to pass it on the halfway line through one of our players. Alex has broke away very, very well, and you can see he almost wants to slide that across to Theo. not bad defending from the Liverpool fullback. He ends up getting himself back in and forcing Alex to take it on his weak side, and it's gone over the bar.
So Hurst obviously yet to start in the league for Vale this season. He's mainly been used in these cup competitions, and he's got his first ever Port Vale goal. That was the one that made it 2-1 at the time. Lovely half volley, just smashed it into the net. But as it stands, as we're approaching 45 minutes played here, it is Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 2, as they're looking to ping it out wide to Miller, but Vale win it back. McCurdy now running at pace here, in past 3 Liverpool defenders, plays it out wide to Robinson. Robinson takes a touch. There's going to be a 1 minute added on here at Vale Park, as it's going to roll trickling out for a corner. Again, great pace at which Vale are breaking at, Adam Yates.
It is, and then if we'd have said there's been at least 10 good opportunities in this half to score, you know, that's not an understatement or underestimate. You know, every single time we've gone forward, we've looked like scoring, and in all honesty, every time Liverpool have gone forward in the last 20-25 minutes, they've looked like they could create an opportunity.
McCurdy it is, who's going to go over to that far side and take the corner, right-footed, hand aloft. Slices his foot across it, and it doesn't reach anyone. Comes over to recovered on this far side by Burgess, who beats his man. Plays Emilico as back in the line. He's played a lovely ball across, but Liverpool managed to intercept and able to win a cheap foul there, I think it's fair to be said.
It's absolutely nowhere near a foul for me. I think Scott's done very well to defend it and not put his arms on the lad, and the Liverpool players slipped over and the ref blew up.
As we are actually, referee Thomas Bramall decides enough involvement he did have in that first 45, which has probably pushed John Askey's hand there. So he's off. Luke Joyce is on, and the other change is Scott Burgess has made way for Tom Conlon. So just to run you through that revised Port Vale 11. So Visser, Crooks, Smith. We've now got Joyce, Montano, Robinson, Cullen, Brisley, Conlon, McCurdy and Hurst, and those unused substitutes as of yet, obviously Scott Brown, Leon Legg, David Worrell, Devante Rodney and Eden Bailey. Liverpool's under-21s, for what it's worth, they remain unchanged at half-time with the score 2-2. What do you think John Askey would have said at half-time, Adam Yates?
I think he'd have told his lads that, you know, we could go and comfortably win this game if we switch on at the back and if we take our chances.
Robinson chasing down the ball in the left-hand corner slot, but the flag goes up for offside. You were saying there, Adam?
Yeah, I think he'll just be saying that, you know, we need to communicate a little bit better with the rotation from their players, as we spoke about in commentary. That, you know, we will keep making chances. The more we break forward and the more we take care of the passes, the opportunities will come. But, you know, we need to switch on at the back because it's obvious that we are susceptible sometimes with the quality that they've got.
Vale pressing high, looking to force the defence from this young, force the mistake from this young Liverpool defence. Goes without saying, under 21s, average age of probably just around about 19. 17's the youngest outfield player that they have out there. Of course, Vale have the 16-year-old Eden Bailey on the bench. Been lighting up the academy scene. 5 goals in his last 6. Yet to make his first start, as Vale looked to have been down here in on the right, but Smith, he had a quick check of if he was offside, which probably gave him 2 more 30 yards to catch up, and the ball rolls out for a goal kick.
I think he's nearly had a heart attack getting that far off the pitch. But you know what you're going to get with Nathan. You know, if you look at the way he runs, he looks like he's tired, but he's actually not. It's just the way he runs. He's as quick as the majority of players in Port Vale's squad. Certainly one of the strongest. He wins his headers in. You know, he'll play with the odd niggle, which you can honestly say that a lot of players don't. I think you know exactly what you're getting with him, and he's a real credit to the football club.
Kane brings it forward for Liverpool. Plays a lovely ball out to the left to Savage, who's inks distinctive in that big afro, number 60 on his back, finds Kane, who can't control this time. Particularly, what do you think John Askey would have said, as we mentioned, Liam Miller. He's the man who's got both goals for the visitors. What do you think John Askey would have said to his defenders about him in particular?
I think it's just to communicate. You know, you can see the rotation, and they're trying to get people out of position. And when we make the wrong decision and go with people a little bit too early, it creates gaps for their other players to run into. But he's the one that, you know, you need to go and deal with early. You need to shut the space down once he gets that ball. You need to get him onto his weak foot and down the line. and at least if that ball comes in the box, it's predictable across and not a shot, you know, and his hat-trick.
McKirdy dancing through, lays in Robinson, potentially the flag's up for offside, and the referee does give lovely intricate feet there from Harry McKirdy. I think this is someone who the Vale fans have been waiting to see, haven't they? Obviously a lot of promise coming in from what he did last season, and he's showing glimpses of it this evening. Yeah,
he for me, for the first 25 minutes of the game, you know, it was the Harry McKirdy that we've been waiting to see. He sort of went quiet after that, but at the start of this half again, you know, it's the lad we've been waiting to watch.
Miller stood up by Nathan Smith. The Vale defender does well to force him back as Liverpool retreat a few yards. Actually going to have to go back into their own half as Vale maintain a good shape here. Robinson just pointing to his strike partner Cullen as regards to which space he needs to occupy to cut out Liverpool's attempts to move forward. But that's a good looking ball, but it's well read by Brisley, who concedes the throw in deep in his own half, which Savage will trot over to take. He takes it quickly, coming back to the French 17-year-old Billy Comitio, and switches flanks all the way over to the other side to fellow 17-year-old Connor Bradley. So two 17-year-olds in this Liverpool defence. I think the two 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old. So we were discussing earlier with Adam Yates as regards to these are all very inexperienced players. Premier League 2 is obviously the standard they're playing at, but a far stretch from proper senior football, and they're getting a good taste of it this evening here in Burslem. The visitors did go ahead. Vale came from behind to lead, but it is Liam Miller, the Canadian, who scored both goals for Liverpool's under-21s. As once again we have Nathan Smith making a marauding run on this right-hand flank. He stood up by the aforementioned Miller as he's tracking back for Liverpool. It's played in field to McKirdy. A bit of loose control, but he gets away with it and wins the throw-in into this Liverpool half, which Smith will take. He's looking for someone to show. Not too many black and white shirts in and around him. Robinson makes the move and he takes it back to goal. Plays it to Smith. Comes into McKirdy. McKirdy on his right foot looks to crossfield pass, which finds it all the way to Montano on the back post. Takes a shot from distance, but it's well cut out there by Van der Berg for a Port Vale corner.
It almost looks like if Harry McKirdy has a 15-minute break every 20 minutes, we get the best version of him. But he's looked very, very sharp again. Received the ball off a throw-in, got it back, switched play to Monty, and he's trying to whip it across the front of goal. But it's decent defending from their centre half.
We talked about obviously the result at the weekend and players using this as not just the EFL trophy but chance to stake a claim for league starts as McKirdy whips in the corner, which comes off the head of Savage. So McKirdy will try again, and certainly he's one who's embraced this opportunity and showing John Askey what he can offer.
He is. For me, he's just it's the other side of his game that we need. We need that tracking back and him tracking his fullback when he plays in this position. But looking at the other centre forwards, you know, it's an opportunity for them to go and get 2 or 3 goals to the name. Certainly build the confidence and to take that into the league games.
Vale corner in front of the Bicars, which is swung in viciously. The keeper has to punch it off his line and hoofed clear by the Liverpool defenders. Brooks wins the header just shy of halfway, and Conlon hooks it over his shoulder back into the danger area, but Liverpool are able to bring it away this time, and chance for them to break. That's asking a lot of Miller. It's brilliant control by the Canadian for Liverpool. Kills it with his right instep and cuts inside. Plays it a lovely pass out wide to Clarkson, and he's overlapped by Bradley. That's a good ball in and a potential for a close range equaliser. It's spilled. Still chance for Liverpool. It's not clear. Some Liverpool players claiming for a penalty, but Vale survived this one. But the danger still not clear there as Liverpool come forward again. Miller lazily does a back heel, and Port Vale can have a chance to bring it forward and have a sigh of relief there. I'm not sure what actually happened there, Adam Yates, but a let off for Port Vale.
It's another just warning that this game is still in the balance. If we're not concentrating properly and not applying ourselves properly, I think it's a decent save from the keeper, from Dino. Looked like it was good defending from Briz that's just put his foot in front of their player finishing it off. But, you know, another warning for us.
It's Louis Longstaff for Liverpool, who was pretty much 6-yard box. I think he took a swing at it as came off a Vale defender. The keeper, Visser, certainly was already committed going one way, and it looked as though the goal was gaping, but Port Vale survive. It's 52 minutes on the clock. Port Vale 2, Liverpool under-21s 2. Full time at Crewe Alex. They went down in this competition, losing 4-3 to Shrewsbury, but they have qualified for the knockout stages. as Nathan Smith wins the interception and punts a high ball over into the Liverpool half, and McCurdy with a nice little Cruyff turn, but he's crunched there by Savage. He certainly would have felt that one, Harry McCurdy, and the ricochet goes all the way back to Dino Visser, who's conceded 2 this evening. I think certainly he could do little about the first in terms of the velocity of the strike by Liam Miller, but the second one was an unkind deflection for the Port Vale keeper that saw it nestle into his bottom right-hand corner, and he plays the ball long, switches flanks to Montano, who plays it first time, and it's flicked on again to Conlon over the top and rolls harmlessly through to the Liverpool goalkeeper. Rolls it out. Liverpool inviting the pressure, which Cullen's happy to apply. And well tracked back there by Alex Hurst. He wins, so it's a Liverpool throw over that far side in front of the railway stand. So don't forget, praise and grumble light, I guess, because Lee Blakeman will be playing a few tunes as well as reaction from this evening's games. If you want to get in touch, 0800 121 80 80. Text message start with the word Stoke and then your message to 81333. We'll be hearing from the Port Vale camp, and of course Crewe Alexandra following their 4-3 defeat at home to Shrewsbury in this competition. It's a bad run of form for Crewe at the moment. Certainly league-wise, obviously winning at the weekend in the FA Cup, but another defeat for David Artell's men. And at the moment for John Askey, after the weekend's defeat against Kings Lynn, his side are 2-2 here against Liverpool under-21s. This is the Northern Group D in the EFL Trophy. Liverpool coming forward, Longstaff with good chest control there, surrounded by black and white shirts, and he's crowded out as Conlon looks to switch flanks to Hurst. Hurst looks to take it first time and use his pace to beat the defender, but Bradley reads that well. The keeper laces it clear, but Cullen picks up the ball over the top, looking for Montano, chests it down, brilliant control by the Colombian, and he just hits it high and over, but he did the hard work bringing it down, Adam Yates.
It's a great run from Monty. Wonderful ball from Joyce. He's just taking it down Monty onto his weak side, and you expect him just to blast that past the goalkeeper, but good play from Port Vale.
Chances for both sides to put themselves back in front. It was Louis Longstaff for Liverpool less than 5 minutes ago, and Christian Montano brought back into the side. Obviously he injured his hamstring here in the win against Cheltenham. So close to adding his third goal, would have been a third goal of the season, chesting it down in the 18-yard box, but couldn't keep the half volley down. As Liverpool, again, this philosophy we see throughout football, determined to pass it around before they opt to go high and long, and when they do, it finds the forehead of Nathan Smith, and Conlon can't bring it down in the centre of field, and Liverpool now with space again, which Miller is now occupying on this left-hand flank. He's cutting in on his right, he beats 3 Vale defenders, looks to play the short truss in, and he's blocked there by the Vale defenders. Good defending once again, but Miller once again, Adam Yates, he's certainly the standout man for the visitors.
He's just so direct when he gets the ball. I think he's got great feet, 2 good feet. He comes off that left side and shifts it onto his right, and he just wants to either get his shot away or slip somebody in, and makes the right decision there. And you know, Port Vale have ended up throwing themselves in front of the ball to block a shot.
Certainly we can't really gauge his what potentially has in terms of the Liverpool first team, but certainly from what we've seen from the 21-year-old Canadian, definitely seems cut out for life in the EFL. Of course, I'm sure it'll take a lot for him to give up on what would be an Anfield dream, but of course this is particularly for a Liverpool under-21s perspective, chance for them to showcase themselves against senior sides, and he has done his reputation no harm with the 2 goals this evening.
No, what he'll be hoping to do is to generate enough interest in him as a player.
As Liverpool now come forward, they're potentially going to be in here. Glatzel checks it back onto his left foot. He finds O'Rourke looking for the 1-2. Glatzel it is, in and around the penalty area. Liverpool number 48, he's surrounded by black and white shirts. Comes back and it's let loose from range Kane, but Smith will clear it on the half volley. Liverpool growing in confidence here, having more and more touches on the ball. It's Kane looking for Glatzel, but he can only find Joyce. Joyce chance to steady the ship here for Port Vale, and his orange boots finds Cullen, who's dropped into a bit more of a deeper central midfield role, and it's now over the wide left with Hurst. Hurst takes on one defender, beats him, stood up by another red shirt. He's done well there, plenty of yardage gain as he heads deep into Liverpool territory, but having to retreat backwards as Liverpool regain shape and get 11 bodies behind the ball. It's back on the halfway line. Brisley for Port Vale, his side 2-2 against Liverpool's under-21s. We're approaching the hour mark here at Vale Park. Myself, Tom Gale, again alongside former Vale defender Adam Yates, as it's a Port Vale throw over the far side, which Montano will take, not in a hurry. John Askey, penny for his thoughts, as he's just saying a few things to the dugout there. He certainly hasn't sat down for the majority of this game, John Askey. I remember when myself and Adam were here a few weeks ago and we spoke to David Worrell, and he mentioned about the half-time telling off they received. It was fair to say that Askey hairdryer was out. It would have been interesting to see if he would have been quite as animated as regards to what he's seen from a side which he did make 8 changes from the weekend, but they are being held here by Liverpool's under-21s under the lights in Burslem. The Liverpool's goalkeeper's kick goes high and long, but it's again won well by Clarkson for Liverpool. He's got his tail up in this second half. He's seen a lot of the ball, played it to Miller. Miller's getting to the byline, checks back onto his right foot, which is what he wants to do, plays a vicious ball in, but Crooks it is, whose outstretched right boot prevents it from finding a red shirt, and Liverpool, sorry, Vale now can counter. Theo Robinson goes over the halfway line. He's got Conlon to his right. He finds Hurst on his left, who wants to come on his right foot. Checks to his left. Can he get to the byline? He's good defending there by the Liverpool right back, but Hurst chanced it, just can't get enough connection to fizz it across the box, and Liverpool will walk it out of the 18-yard box through Van der Berg.
I just think that's just a little bit of inexperience from Alex Hurst. You know, he's done wonderfully to get himself into the box. He's not been bad defending that's sent him wide. He's had to check back, but from there he can't really get his cross in. He just needs to bounce that back to somebody in a better position. And he's just, you know, he's desperate to make an impact and to show what he can do. You know, his desire's there. He just probably needs to just think about it.
Harry McCurdy's in here. He's going to be one-on-one with the Liverpool goalkeeper. Chance to re-establish Vale's lead, and he does. High into the roof of the net. It's Port Vale 3, Liverpool under-21s 2.
Wonderful run from Harry. It's the straight ball that he's got him behind from, but as we said in the first half, you know, the first 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of that first half, he was the one player that you said would make the difference for Port Vale. And similarly, to be honest, at the start of this second, he's the one player that you thought might make a chance or might nick a goal, and he has done. So
on the hour mark, the Vale are back in front as Liverpool respond with a change. I think it's fair to say they were going to make that change prior to it, but a lovely ball over the top. McCurdy cutting in from the right-hand side. Still had lots of work to do. It's one of those tight angles, and he went for power high into the roof of the net. He does get his first Port Vale goal, so that's 2 Vale players opening their scoring account for the club this evening. Alex Hurst and Harry McCurdy, who, as we've mentioned, given an opportunity by John Askey this evening, and both of them will do their chances of maybe, you know, working their way into that starting lineup. Tranmere at home here on Saturday. Full commentary on BBC Radio Stoke as Vale make their change, and it's Devante Rodney coming on.
Yeah, I'm just saying with Harry's chance there and his goal, I think the longer he went on, you know, at the early part of his break into the box, you're sort of thinking square it to Theo for a tap in, and I thought he'd actually made the wrong decision going into goal, but then he's ended up getting a shot away and giving the keeper no chance.
Port Vale 3, Liverpool under-21s 2. The Vale came from behind to lead, were pegged back, and that 1-goal advantage has been restored by Harry McCurdy as Liverpool come forward on the attack, but Crooks finds his goalkeeper, and good feet from Visser to dig a tough one out from which had him on his heels. But Liverpool again coming forwards over that far right hand side through Bradley back into the midfield of Clarkson to Kane, looking to slot in behind the Vale defenders, but they read that well. And just to confirm the change for Liverpool, it's Joe Hardy coming on. He was replacing Paul Glatt. So Liverpool making their first change following Vale restoring their advantage. Reminder, it was Crewe 3, Shrewsbury 4 That was a result from the local teams, of course. November international break, so no Stoke City fixture this weekend. So join us on Saturday from 2 p.m. Vale v Tranmere and Crewe v Peterborough. Where certainly Vale, I guess that's an interesting one, Adam, so going back into league form. Obviously we don't know how this result stands, but back of an FA Cup defeat, hopefully a win here. We shouldn't shy away from the fact that Vale are doing extremely well in the league despite Saturday's result.
They are, and I think what we need to remember is that no matter how well the 11 players that are starting the game for Port Vale or results are going, you are almost one isolation away from a chance in the side. So, you know, Devante Rodney, David Fitzpatrick, we're forced into isolation that gave other people chances. And I think as a player, you know, this year particularly, and the way that COVID is, you're always in with a chance of playing right up until kick-off. You know, you need to be ready to play, and even if you're not in the team, even if you're not making those appearances, you know, every week or in and around the squad, you are very close.
Liverpool playing themselves into trouble. Rodney here, edge of the box, 20 yards out, opts for the strike, goes low and finds the bottom corner. Pretty much his first touch of the ball, plenty of time, picks his spot. Devante Rodney, second goal of the season. Port Vale 4, Liverpool under-21s 2.
Yeah, they just seem to be more and more chance coming our way, but I think it's almost gone down in slow motion, the goalkeeper. The ball's gone to Devante on the edge of the box. It looks like he's tried to pass it into the corner, and almost there's nowhere near enough power for it to get there, and the keeper's gone down in stages and it's creeped in. But yeah, as I was saying, that, you know, the players are almost one decision away from being straight into the team, and they need to be ready. And for me, I think Devante, I was going to say before he scored, he needs to come on and make a bit of an impact here, because for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I know he's been isolating, but before that he sort of went a little bit quiet for me in the games. You know, started very, very well at the start of the season, and then almost went a little bit quiet. And I think it's a perfect game for him to come on and almost to go and get himself a goal or two, or make a couple of chances.
It's a classic case of, well, if you're going to give me this amount of space, I will hit it. I'm a striker, and he makes them pay. And as Adam suggested, maybe question marks over the goalkeeping as the ball over the top to Rodney is just a little bit too much on it. He thumbs up to acknowledge the intent there from Nathan Smith, and he won't care a jot, because like you say, he's been out of the side and now he's doubled his Vale tally. 2 goals, new player coming in, does him the world of good. And Vale are now flying forward here, plenty of black and white shirts as Cullen looking to get on the receiving end of that, and it's Miller who traps the ball well for Liverpool to bring them back out, as they've been shell-shocked. Because I think it's fair to say, Adam, prior to Vale retaking the lead, Liverpool under-21s were the better side for that short spell.
Yeah. For me, I think those 2 goals have done us the world of good from obviously a scoreline point of view, but for the lads that are in the game, because it's given them almost a bit of a breather against the run of play, very much like Liverpool scored the first goal.
Flag up for a Mark Cullen offside, which he doesn't protest about. So if you are just joining us on BBC Radio Stoke, it's myself, Tom Gale, alongside former Vale defender Adam Yates. It is Port Vale 4, Liverpool under-21s 2. So Vale looking to top this group, Northern Group D, and make it through to the knockout stages. John Askey making 8 changes following Saturday's humbling in the FA Cup by Kings Lynn, and McCurdy making a run here on the right flank. He kills it first time. Good pace off the standing start there, and looking to whip it outside of the foot to Hurst. Too much on it. A
little bit too much on it, just a little bit more care to be taken by Harry there, but you can see now that any balls that are going up are probably sticking more so. You know, the Liverpool players have dropped off a little bit deeper than they would against any forward before, because Devante's on there. They can see that he's got that electric pace. They've had to give themselves another yard of breathing space, and what that does is creates more space in front of them, in between the midfield, for players to pick the ball up.
And if we can make any assumptions about Liverpool, the fact that they're all so inexperienced at this level, as time ticks on, now 66 minutes, this is where the physicality will start to pay in terms of their fatigue levels and the fitness levels.
Well, you'd think there should be no issue with the fitness levels in terms of them running around. From a strength point of view, I would expect our players to be comfortable enough to go and dominate the game now onwards, and also the game management. There's a lot of experienced players on this pitch for us, obviously some inexperience as well, but there's a number of league games on there, and what we should do now is start to control the game and let Liverpool come onto us and sort of press us and try and pick them off and create some more chances.
So Port Vale 4-2. The scoring went 1-0 to Liverpool. Vale drew level, then went ahead. Then were pegged back 2-2 at half-time, and it's 2 goals from Port Vale in this second half. So it's Cullen, Hurst, McCurdy and Rodney. The scorers in black and white this evening is the Liverpool goal scorer, Miller, again on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Cuts inside, shoots from distance, but it's straight down the throat of Visser, and a comfortable save for Port Vale's goalkeeper. And he rolls it out to Montano. Looks down the line, but checks back inside. Comes back to Crooks. Crooks finds his goalkeeper. 68 minutes gone here. It's headed back by Liverpool as they regain possession through Longstaff. Longstaff to Kumatio, into Clarkson, who wants to play it first time, but Brisley read that well. But his pass goes straight out to just roll past John Askey for a Liverpool throw in their own half, and Liverpool are going to make further changes as they look to bring themselves back into this game. Of course, they've staring down the face of 3 consecutive defeats in this competition. It's just their second season, Liverpool under-21s, playing in this competition. Last season, they just picked up a single point. At the moment, they're on course. They've definitely finished bottom, but failure to register a single point as Owen Beck comes on for Louis Longstaff. And it's Kumateo who's gone off, and he's going to be replaced by Matteo Ritacchio, 19-year-old American, and an 18-year-old Welshman brought into the showing. Can they change the fortunes of their side? Certainly we don't want that to happen from a Port Vale perspective, because at the moment they are 4-2 in front, but as the scoreline would suggest, there have been numerous opportunities for both sides. But Vale, I think it's fair to say, their quality, their range of quality, because I think that certainly will please John Askey as well, is, you know, obviously, I'm not saying it's a classic case, but last time in the league, Tom Pope scoring both goals, and they've shared it around well this evening, Port Vale.
Yeah, there's been a lot of opportunities for players to get goals tonight, and I still think there's more goals in this game, particularly for someone like Devante that can, you know, almost explode onto any through ball that goes over the top. He has got that pace that can get him in from a nothing ball, and I think that you look at Harry McCurdy and Mark Cullen, sorry, you know, you look at those two, that there are chances for them still.
Clarkson for Liverpool under pressure from Conlon, one of the half-time substitutions for John Askey. And here's Miller once again for Liverpool. He's darting down that left-hand flank. He's got pace to burn, and he's leaving Smith for dead. But the Vale defender recovers well, but he's past him. He's darting into the area, and he looks like he'd run out of space, but he does win a corner for Liverpool, Adam Yates.
He's very, very quick as well. I think he shifts the ball well on both feet. He's very direct, but, you know, as Nathan Smith's just seen there, Nathan's shown in the line, and he's gone past him. Nathan's recovered and luckily got a nudge out for a corner. But, you know, for me, he's the one player that, if I was watching this game from a league scout point of view, I'd be looking at trying to take him.
Liverpool take the short corner, edge of the box. Kane floats it in, but that's going to go to no one and roll out harmlessly for a Port Vale goal kick. 71 minutes played here. Port Vale 4, Liverpool under-21s 2. Don't forget, Praise and Grumble light with Lee Blakeman, and by I mean light, I mean he'll be playing some tunes, but he's happy to take your call. So if you want to get in touch, if you've been listening or certainly watching on the stream, call 0800 121 80 80, text Stoke, and then your message to 81333. Lee would love to hear from you. Crew fans, if you have joined us for this second half commentary, your sides, terrible form in the league. You responded with a win in the FA Cup, but a defeat this evening at home to Shrewsbury. How worried are you as regards to the season? I suppose it's interesting to say that, given the fact that Crew have qualified for the knockout stages of the EFL Trophy, which Vale are on course to match this evening and top their group. It'll be an unbeaten group stage campaign, a draw, and if this goes as it stands, there'll be 2 consecutive defeats for John Askey's side, but still plenty of football to be played. And Miller again, edge of the left-hand side of the 18-yard box. He pings it across, but it's well defended there by Brisley at the expense of a corner, Adam Yates.
Yeah, just pick the pace up a little bit. Liverpool this last 2 or 3 minutes seem to have got down this side 3 or 4 times now. This near side for us, our right side. Probably a little bit more needed from midfield just to cover Nathan, and Sean Brisley picks himself into a good position to block any cross, and it's not the first time he's done that.
Corner in from Liverpool to the back post. Savage meets it, but he can't get a firm connection on it, the Liverpool defender.
Just going back to Brisley, he seems to put himself in a good defensive position every time a cross comes in, and that's the experience from
Kane driving towards the Vale defence, 20 yards out, but it's well intercepted Montano, but comes out wide to Savage, left-footed, floats in a good-looking cross, but Nathan Smith glances his forehead to just put enough on it to divert it away from danger. But Liverpool growing in confidence here. Ball over the top to Clarkson, looks to turn Smith and plays a good cross over, and it's headed clear by Vale. Still not able to clear the lines. It's inside their own 18-yard box. Smith takes a dangerous touch, but shows his class to whip it down the line and relieve the pressure on Port Vale. Liverpool quick to get on with it through Beck, plays it to Bradley, number 84 on his back, plenty of height on the Liverpool right back, and he comes over to that far side now. 73 minutes gone. Port Vale 4, Liverpool under-21s 2. It's in the ball is at the feet of Sepp van der Berg, the Dutch centre half. Doesn't seem to have too much movement in front of him in terms of a red shirt. Clarkson for Liverpool over the halfway line, looking for options in front of him, and he can only find the black and white shirt of Crooks, who plays it out wide to Hirst, back to Montano, and he looks down the line, and Rodney looking to get in behind the Liverpool defence, but the Liverpool defender does well to read the situation, and Rodney does well to win it back now for Port Vale, inside their own half to Conlon, who switches flanks over to McKirby. This is pretty much exactly the same range where he drove in right-footed to score, and I think he's maybe suggesting that he's pulled his calf there, instantly indicating to the bench that he feels as though he's done there. He's looking to stretch it off. There doesn't seem to be an immediate reaction from John Askey, and I think he's clutching his hamstring there, Adam Yates.
He's done his hamstring straight away. I felt when the ball was running out that he could have got there, and he just gripped his hamstring. He's done it. That's us down. I think we made all the subs.
I think so. So this is going to be interesting now as regards to how Port Vale can continue with this. That's right, yeah. So they have made their changes. So Harry McKirdy is going to have to quite literally soldier on. Cullen. Oh, Liverpool in here. There's plenty of space in front of him. Can he divert it? It's O'Rourke, it is, with a tame shot. And it's comfortably saved there by Visser, but warning signs once again for Port Vale, Adam Yates.
Yeah, we just switched off, and I don't think we knew where their players were, and luckily for us, it's a very, very tame shot, but we are playing one light now. There's no way that Harry McKirdy can have any impact on this game. I think the longer he stays on and tries to even walk around and jog around, you can see he's limping about. I think he's just going to cause more damage. I think we've got to get him off.
He is. Rodney's immediately peeled off to the right, so I think the hope is if he can just stay as a top focal point and not move, just use his body to at least occupy the Liverpool defenders. But as Adam Yates has rightfully pointed out, he looks to be struggling really badly out there. You don't feel as though he'd be able to even control the ball if it was passed to him. But saying that, he's just done a couple of side steps and is moving a little bit better. So of course we've got to think about, I'm sure John Askey's mulling over as regards to McKirdy's future plans for the season, because it would be a terrible end if he's had such a standout performance and now he could be facing a time on the sidelines, Adam Yates.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be out for a short period. I think he's trying to stretch it off, and I don't think it's cramp. It seems like a little bit more than that to me. He did signal in straight away for his hamstring. He looks like he's stretching it off, but if it is a slight niggle or a bit of a tear, there's no point in carrying on. He needs to get himself off.
John Askey in consultation with Dave Kevin, just obviously discussing what is best, and we'll look to update you obviously if he does. Obviously Port Vale have made their 3 substitutions, so no options for John Askey to bring the player off without going down to 10 men. And as we've shown with this high-scoring game, current score, Port Vale 4, Liverpool 2, and certainly their danger man, Liam Miller, if he can, what would be a hat-trick, if he was to get another on the score sheet, he'd make an interesting closing 10 minutes or so for Port Vale. But as it stands, they are in control with a two-goal buffer as the ball's played high and long. Montano challenges for it, comes off a Liverpool head, so it's going to be a throw-in over the far side in front of the railway stands, where that one lone steward is able to retrieve the ball for Port Vale. Montano with the ball in his hands, looking down the line. For Cullen, who wins the flick on to McCurdy, who does seem to be moving a little bit better now. He's able to at least form a semi-sprint there, I think it's fair to say, and he's actually jogging over. He's looking a little bit better now, so hopefully he's not doing any long-term damage to himself out there, and maybe it might have been more cramped than hamstring, but certainly as soon as he pulled up, he did signal straight away with his hands that that was him done. But he's managing to carry on as Liverpool come forward, but Vale cut it out, and Cullen stands on the ball dead and plays it out wide to Hurst. Hurst scored his first Port Vale goal this evening, plays a lovely ball down the line to Montano, and he wins a corner for Port Vale.
Yeah, Monty's still bombing up and down, and you know, if anyone looks like they're going to pull hamstring, it's Monty. But he's the one that you see breaking the back four of Liverpool time and time again, and you know, he's had a good game tonight for me, Monty.
So Port Vale, 78.5 minutes on the clock. They are 4-2 up against Liverpool's under-21s. Option for a short corner, which Hurst ignores to Joyce, so he'll whip it in right-footed with those orange boots. It's a good-looking corner, which Conlon even, and it seems a chance here right in front of goal there for Cullen, and just didn't get firm enough connection there, Adam Yates.
He's in the 6-yard box, swivelling to hit a ball that's dropping over his shoulder. I think he'd be absolutely disappointed not to have got himself another goal.
Certainly not so much in the second half, but it's fair to say Mark Cullen should have more than the one goal to his name from his first half exploits, and that looks to be a dangerous ball over the top, but well read by the Vale defence, in particular their goalkeeper Dino Visser.
I was looking at Mark Cullen about 60 or 65 minutes, and he looked like he'd run his game. You know, he looked like he was very, very tired. It was on a break, and he was almost in midfield when the ball was going into the box, and I thought to myself that he's not played an awful lot of football. He has done made quite a lot of runs tonight, and did look to be tiring. But John's decided to keep him on, and obviously, you know, up that fitness level that he isn't quite at yet.
Rotakio for Liverpool in their own half, comes back to Savage, plays it across to fellow centre half Van der Berg, who pings it out wide to Bradley, who struggles to control it and concedes a throw into Port Vale, which we mentioned now about game management. I think it's important for Vale just to take the sting out of this game right now, Adam Yates.
Yeah, just take your time on your throws, you know, your free kicks, buy a little bit of time winning a free kick if you can. You know, don't force anything. You know, if you need to go back, go back. But the next 4 or 5 minutes, once we see those out, we should, you know, be able to carry on and see the game through.
Montano again flying down that left-hand flank, but this time to no avail as Liverpool come away with the ball through Savage. Liverpool rarely opting to go long, it has to be said, in terms of out of the defence. They want to maintain possession, and I think it would be interesting to have a look at the possession stats, because I think Liverpool potentially may have seen more of the ball, but of course it's all about what you do with it, and certainly Vale have been far more ruthless in front of goal, as Crooks does well to intercept Joe Hardy as he attacks down the right-hand flank for Liverpool. But the visitors do have a throw over that far side, 81 minutes on the clock. Liverpool attacking the 18-yard box. Hardy looking to turn the Vale defence, and it comes back to a red shirt at O'Rourke. Back to Millett. They're working it well across the line here, Liverpool. Chance for the cross, which is wasted. And again, just chance for Port Vale to take the time with this goal kick, Adam.
Yeah, you can see Dino just ambling over to pick a ball up, waiting for the other one to come down. It is about game management for us now, especially with almost playing with 10 men with Harry, you know, carrying that. Either, for me, I think it's a hamstring, but whether it's hamstring or calf, we are effectively playing with 10 men.
Mark Cullen, Alex Hurst, Harry McCurdy and Devante Rodney, they're your scorers for Port Vale this evening, and both Liverpool goals coming from a 21-year-old Canadian, Liam Millett, who's been the very clear bright spark for the visiting side, as Cullen looks to chase down the Liverpool goalkeeper, but they again show good composure, as does Savage, as he attempts to dribble it out of defence and wins the free kick, which again he's quick to get on with, as they look down the line through Beck, who finds Miller. Miller's got grass to run in front of him, but Rodney's recovered well. He can have pace to match Miller, and he plays a lovely ball through to McCurdy, who I think a fully fit McCurdy would have been in on goal there, but took a yard of pace away from him, but he's done well to win the free kick.
He's
there,
done
Adam.
well with one hamstring, yes, absolutely. As you said, a fully fit Adam McCurdy have driven at the goal then at the edge of the area, but he sort of checked back and bought a free kick.
It's interesting, his approach, isn't it? I'm not sure, can we even call it naive? But he's not shying away from the ball, is he? It's one of those, do we credit him, or do we think, what about your long-term fitness and career at the moment?
What he's doing is just trying to, not leave the team one short and protect himself. So with that there, it looks like he's going to go behind. He just checks himself back and buys a free kick. So the right thing to do from a player's perspective, he just needs to make sure that he doesn't cause any more damage.
Rodney, right hand side of the 18-yard box, plays a good ball across, but Savage is able to clear for Liverpool. Miller in his own half looks to play it to Clarkson, who switches the flanks to O'Rourke, and Liverpool have a number of red shirts moving forward. One of them is Kane, who's centre on, 30 yards out, a lot to do, but he's found Miller, who's continued his run down the left into the 18-yard box, again on his right foot, shoots from distance, high and rising, and hits the scoreboard.
I think we've lost count of the amount of times he's coming on that right foot tonight and either got a shot off or slid somebody in. And I think he by far and away looks the most dangerous player for the opposition.
It seems, it's obviously for you as a defender, it seems very easy to me, but he's got that one move, isn't it? Why is it so difficult to stop? Is it because obviously his speed and his close control?
I think it is, and I think he's one of those that if he comes inside and you show him the line, he almost has got that pace to go straight past you and show you a clean pair of heels. Nathan Smith's very, very quick. He's probably quicker than people realise he is, and he's gone past Nathan once or twice tonight with a clean pair of heels. So it's very, very difficult to defend somebody like that can almost show you a clean pair of heels. You need to get him down the line, but you don't want him running past you and getting a shot off or drilling it across goal so easily.
Rodney dropping awfully deep, and he's just nutmegged Miller there for Liverpool, and as he's just running a bit of time down here, Rodney he saw there's plenty of red shirts in front of him. I don't need to bust the gut here. Wins his side a throw and a chance to a breather as John Askey retrieves the ball for his side, and Nathan Smith in no hurry to trot over as we're inside the final 10 minutes. Port Vale 4, Liverpool under 21s 2. Miller for Liverpool's had enough. He's gone and collected the ball for Port Vale, and Nathan Smith immediately releases it over his head down the line to Rodney, who is comfortable in possession and wins another throw as the edge closer to that corner flag. And again, Smith using all that experience to just trundle over and retrieve the ball. Vale in good position here. He's got Cullen in front of him, who immediately takes it into feet. Comes back to Conlon. Conlon, the half-time substitute, driving into the box here. He's dancing around defenders on his left foot. He's well blocked there. Looked to certainly be heading goalwards, and chance for Liverpool to counter, and Joyce dives in, isn't able to retrieve it, and Hardy slows Liverpool down with an unnecessary back heel, but Liverpool are in possession through Clarkson. Vitarchio to Kane for Liverpool into the semicircle. He's played a good ball out to the right, which Bradley does well to meet, but Hurst is flying in to intercept for Port Vale. And does he do enough to stop a corner? He doesn't, so it's going to be a Liverpool corner over the far side. They're attacking the Hamel Road stand as we approach 85 minutes exactly on the clock. Actually, the clock stops, so I'm presuming that as we're going to tick over crazy, but it certainly was ticking, and now it's decided to freeze on 84.59.
Has it just frozen, or was it frozen a few minutes ago?
I'm pretty well. Yeah, there we go. It's just sort of, it's caught up a minute. It literally did that whole fast forward in time as it swung in. The danger still not clear from a Port Vale perspective. Van der Berg is putting himself about, and Nathan Smith, left-footed at the second time of asking, does. And Hurst now, he's got just McCurdy in front of him, as we mentioned, is walking wounded, so he opts for a better pass to Joyce, who comes all the way back to Brooks, to Brisley. Vale centre-halves work it well to Nathan Smith, who's got plenty of space over on the right-hand flank. He crosses over the halfway line. Rodney runs down the line. He takes a Liverpool defender, but he's beaten him instantly with that, and the referee... The liner flagged for the foul. I think Rodney would have been more than happy to continue, but I guess given the stage of the game, Adam, he'll be more than happy with the set piece.
Yeah, good for us. He's just in this corner. one of the things Devante does is he brings that element of spinning in behind and stretching the game and causing defenders problems with his pace, and he's very, very powerful as well. He seems to get, when he does get hold of it, he gets hold of it and there's no shaking him off. So running into the corner then, it buys us a little bit of time. It sort of kills the game. It gives us the opportunity to probably keep it back down in here. I'm not sure whether Tom will look to put it in, but it might just get bounced back to him and we keep it in the corner.
It is Tom Conlon stood over the ball, left-footed, probably 10 yards out to the right, and it's swung in and well headed clear by Liverpool. Joyce looks to send it back in with his forehead, and Montano receives a heavy challenge and a little bit unnecessary follow through there from O'Rourke, and this is going to be another good set piece of opportunity for Vale. Left of centre, around about 25 yards out, Adam Yates.
Yeah, just us dominating and dictating the game now. I think we've won the game. We just need to make sure that we don't make it a bit edgy for us the last 3 or 4 minutes. There's only 2 minutes of the game left now, plus any stoppages. You'd expect us to see the game out, but just nothing silly.
That's the sign of a striker who's got his goal. Devante Rodney just walked straight over, grabbed the ball, and everyone's quickly moved away. He says, yeah, I've got a feel for it this evening, lads. I want to add to my tally. Coming on as a second half substitute and getting his second career Port Vale goal. As Adam mentioned, obviously started the first 6 games of the season for Port Vale, and then through self-isolation had to settle to falling down in John Askey's pecking order. He takes it right-footed from distance and he's hooked it in. Didn't seem far wide there. Tight to see from the angle, but a good effort there.
A decent effort that the keeper hasn't moved, so either he's called it right very well, or he can't get there quick enough and thinks that it's just going to go to the other side of the post. But decent effort from Devante. He looked like he got good pace and dip on it.
Liverpool coming forward over the far side. Kane to Bradley. Nice 1-2 with Hardy. Liverpool right back continues his run, heads towards the centre, on 30 yards out, back to Clarkson, number 65, dinks a ball over the top, which Montano will read, and Hurst has chance to control and beats his man well. Suckered him in with the slow and then instant speed off his foot, and he's surrounded by red shirts who are able to win the ball back for Liverpool as we're inside the final minute of normal time. And Conlon wins it back. And a little flick from McCurdy, just doing what he can to pass the ball on and not get too involved. The man who's, we feel, has pulled his hamstring. Rodney shoots from distance, and that goes harmlessly wide. We're approaching 90 minutes played here. We'll wait to see how much time, if any, will be added on as Port Vale look to cement their position in the EFL Trophy knockout stages. They will top the group, but there is 3 minutes, a minimum of 3 minutes to be added on. Kane for Liverpool in the 18-yard box, pulls the cross across, and surprisingly, Hurst, who could have prevented a corner, it seems, but now his side are going to have to stand up to a corner in these closing stages, Adam.
Yeah, just important that we switch on and make sure everyone's locked on. No free headers. No one gets a block on the goalkeeper.
Played instantly back to Clarkson, who hooks it to the back post. That's a good ball, but Visser rises with his 2 outstretched hands and those black gloves and picks it out of the Burslem night sky. And again, he'll use all his experience to just run down this clock. 3 minutes of added on time. It's Port Vale 4, Liverpool under 21s 2. Earlier, Crewe lost 4-3 in this competition to Shrewsbury. They had come from behind, Crewe, to lead 3-2. A bonkers game for the Alex, which has ended in defeat for them, but certainly not the case for John Askey. Certainly can't see Liverpool scoring 2 goals in these closing stages. It's back with their centre-half, Savage, and plays it to Clarkson. He's looking for movement in front of him, but there's a lot of tired bodies, it's fair to say, on both sides in front of him. In particular, Mark Cullen seems to be really struggling in regards to the pace that he's played at throughout this evening, but vital minutes for him and a number of others in terms of trying to at least ask the question for John Askey as the weekend's game. Here is Tranmere, which you can of course have Joyce here for Liverpool, chance to shoot from distance, but well blocked. Hurst uses his body to dummy, and it's going to be a Liverpool throw over that far side. So credit to these under-21. They are continuing to ask questions of Port Vale to the very end as we're in added time here at Vale Park.
I think from a Liverpool perspective, there's no better game for these young lads to play in, and then against league footballers like this, I think they'll learn so much more than they would in the 21s or the 23s that they play in. You know, that Premier League 2. I think this is the level where they learn the real nitty-gritty of the game and how to win football matches. And you know, for them, this is better than them going winning 4 or 5-0. They're better in it. You'll learn more about these young lads in a defeat like this than they will winning 4 or 5-0.
I think that's exactly echoing the sentiment of their manager, Barry Lutus, who said that last season's competition was a huge learning curve, and of course that's continued this season, and there is perhaps arguably the chance for Liverpool to have a further say in this scoreline as we've played 2 minutes of the minimum of 3 to be added on. It's going to be a Liverpool free kick just a few yards in from the corner flag in front of the Hamel Road stand. The 90 minutes are up. It's up to referee Thomas Bramall as Liverpool play along the ground to the edge of the box. It looked to be well worked, but a poor connection, and Cullen is able to clear his lines, and that's it. Referee decides